Hello.
Hello there, guys.
Sweet people.
We've missed you.
We have missed you.
It's been a long few weeks.
We've definitely had a lot of life things happening recently. So whoa.
If you're watching our video, that
Tammy just tried to wreck it all.
Because you guys are listening to the Tammy and Wanda show.
Welcome.
Hey there.
Those new and old, I think we're going to have to project the way that we have this set up.
Yes.
So we have some news. Do you want to tell them?
Which news? What news?
We have been watching The Trial of the Century.
Oh, that news. Yes. I happened to notice that my hair kind of looks like Heard in a way.
No, your hair's cuter. It's much cuter.
I'm glad about that.
We're gonna try something.
We're trying really hard, guys. Like we want the best of the best here.
I think the microphone is not liking
where we're sitting.
The table. That's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay.
Everything is fine. But
we
have been watching this for the last
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Of the 6 weeks.
Of the 6 weeks.
We kind of missed a lot of the early Johnny Depp stuff that was coming out.
Because that stuff is the start of it. The performance builder, I guess you could say. Because, for all of our friends out there who are lawyers, we apologize.
But we're going to be saying objection a lot, and I don't think we know what it means. I don't think
or
we do.
Hearsay, or leading the witness, or
all the fun terms, objection, hearsay, that we've been learning through this process.
I'm pretty sure we could just, send a message out there to someone and get, we might pass the bar exam after this, guys.
Us and Kim Kardashian, apparently. I don't know if she passed. We didn't get to that episode.
We didn't get to that part.
We've been watching the new Kardashians, too, just for some juicy dirt for y'all.
Oh, yeah.
We don't really care, but...
Because you all know that your girls are trashy TV watchers.
Trash TV junkie over here, please. Thank you very much.
As we've stated in other previous episodes.
I don't know if I like that this thing is right here.
I know.
I'm sorry, people listening. We are working with the new format because guess what? We have to see each other every day now.
Yes, we do.
We're stuck.
We are stuck together. Together forever.
So we've been acclimating to that whole situation, and
yes. It just, life in general has really hit us very nicely in a positive way, I guess you could say. A very positive way.
Should we welcome them to our official office as opposed to our studio, which is why we're kind of on a...
We're in a trial and error phase.
Hoopty setup, kind of. We'll figure it out.
We understand you guys miss our little background,
a beautiful blue background.
Our little home away from home.
We'll definitely get back to that eventually. But if we're gonna be with each other every day, we figured why not do it at the office?
Might as well. So we'll try different areas and scenarios on where the best places would be.
I like this placement. I do not care for the table.
I know. This is problematic for me. We tried something, guys.
We tried it. It failed. But that's okay.
Five Below, sponsor us. It would be great. Thank you,
Since
Five Below.
2 of the items are actually from Five Below that we are using today, both the table and the ring light.
And a lot of our stuff in the office, guys, is Five Below.
Because why spend all the money if you can get it cheap?
Yeah.
Let's do the thing.
So anyways, with our trashy TV watching and our little addiction that we have, since we are working together, we can watch closely and keep track of what is going on with the Depp versus Heard defamation trial.
We're down to...
I actually said that right.
You did. We're down to mere hours left for both teams.
Hours, guys. Hours.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it like 7 hours? 7 hours and 8 minutes before that last lady?
Yeah, 7 hours for the plaintiff side, which is the Depp side, and an hour and 15 minutes, I believe,
approximately for Amber's lawyers,
for the defendants. And of course, for some of our friends who have been living under a rock and are not as exclusive as we are,
fancy,
we're going to pull out our fancy little teacups and pour some tea out for you.
That's what we should have for the next episode. Spill the tea.
Listen, guys, when we, of course, all of us know that this is going to go more Johnny Depp side.
All you have to do is, even if you're not watching footage, you go on social media, anymore.
Anywhere.
And it's going to tell you how it's going, except for they're kind of making the case right now, just in general, that like these news outlets are so trying to make this narrative about her and female abuse, which, yeah, that's an important cause, but not when you're lying. And the fact that we're kind of, the other side doesn't care. Johnny Depp has clearly stated multiple times that he doesn't care if he wins. He just wants to put it out there that a man can get abused. And,
exactly.
And he wants his side of the story out there, whether he wins the defamation suit or not. So I think he's already achieved that goal.
He has really achieved that goal. And in, you know, what we talked about last night is that Brendan Fraser has come out and spoke more about his abuse that he happened to have, and now he is back in the limelight in a positive way.
Brendan, he was kind of a victim of an ex-wife and the system as it works, where, you know, sexual favors get you a long way, and he was asked for
Me Too
things. I don't know that he ever did. I don't know that part of it, but I know that he was pretty much blacklisted. I think he did assume that he wasn't, he stood up for himself, I think, if I remember the story correctly, and listeners, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I think he was like, hell no. And so they blackballed him from doing anything in Hollywood again, and he kind of had a really rotten couple of years there. So to see him kind of back at Comic-Cons and speaking to fans and possibly doing more movies and TV shows is really inspiring for people like Johnny Depp, who have been you know, assaulted.
And and for all those people, all those naysayers, remember, guys, this is our opinions and we're allowed to have them because this is our show,
not yours.
That's right.
Just so we're clear.
But
and fight me. Amber Heard's been guilty since day one.
Fight
me. I don't want to hear your women. She's a woman. Yes, we do believe women. We just don't believe that particular woman. That's how we stand on the whole abuse thing.
You can't tell me that. Say you're show me that you've been abused without telling me you've been abused.
Yeah,
kind of thing. And she does not show. And of course, we all know that everyone expresses emotions and
their characteristics are a bit different.
Yes, everyone is different in every way that they express any type of emotions or backlashings or anything that they've dealt with. Now, of course, both of us, as you guys know, in previous
have gone
episodes,
through some form
we have gone through some sort of
trauma in life.
Yeah.
Whether it be from a partner, family member, whatever.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, is I get so angry every time we listen to it, and you know, she'll tell you I sit behind her and I'm physically like stressing out, and then I put it down. Out.
I lower it down enough that I can listen to it.
Well, I get triggered because, and I'm gonna be quite frank with you, that stupid bitch today, he went back up on the stand since we're towards the end of the trial, and she was laughing at his recounting of her cutting off his finger with a vodka bottle. Yeah. And it's like, are we in kindergarten? And
his expression when he's being cross-examined by her lawyers, you know, saying like, why are you acting this way? And being, you know, why is your tone so defensive because you're being accused of rape? And he's like, I'm being accused of something I never did.
Correct.
So we would be just as angry as well if we were accused of something that we didn't do. And of course, we have been in some way in circles.
By the same person.
Yes. Being accused of things that may have been taken out of context.
So you look at that and you go, okay, so every single person on earth has had a shitty experience with another human. Let's be honest. That's where we are. And every single human has a right to feel the way they feel about it. But I know a lot of people, I have friends that are war veterans, okay? So and military vets that have been through some shit.
Yeah.
What stresses me out the most is these people have very real fears. One particular one can't even hear fireworks because it sends him reeling.
Oh.
Completely in the wrong direction. So you go, okay, when he hears fireworks, he cowers like a 5-year-old child and almost starts to cry.
That, my friends, is called PTSD.
Ta-da! So, and we're not glorifying PTSD by any means, but for her lawyers to claim she has it, and then for her to be sitting there with this shitty smirk on her face while he's talking, and then laugh at him when he's recounting his abuse at her hands, it's not only narcissistic, but it's sociopathic on some level because it's disgusting.
And we both agree that the way that she looks at Johnny Depp in the courtroom is her way of showing control. That's not showing that you are stronger than him or defeating him, that he didn't break you down. That's not how you do it.
And the other thing is, body language is everything. Any body language expert you talk to would tell you that that is telling the complete story.
1,000 words.
Instead
more
of
than
the
words.
Evidence. Right. Yeah. And you go, okay, so we've talked about this a lot, but if you're abused by somebody and then you have to be in the same room with that same person, even if it's years later, there's some level of terse tenseness to the interaction.
Yeah.
And she doesn't seem bothered.
Not being able to give that eye contact, even if it's been years afterwards, it's still problematic. Like, it's still hard.
They give you anxiety.
Yeah.
It's like hardcore. And we're seeing in the courtroom that he's looking down, he's eating candy, he's visibly shook, I would say, by what's going on. And she's just over there looking like a bitch.
I mean, like, both of us suffer from panic attacks.
Yes.
Anxiety attacks, everything. Like, that's what I would be doing to not, like, get into a physical, like, not an altercation, but, like, have, like, a physical breakdown.
Well, because when you get into the physical breakdown symptoms, like, you're already so far past being able to be calmed down.
Yeah.
And you try your hardest not to get there. I throw things, so...
well, and there was kind of a scenario there.
We're going to talk about the cabinet banging. Can we talk about that for a second? How that's... So those of you that are not watching, let's make this clear.
So we're going to go back.
Because they brought the TMZ guy on today. That's why it's top of mind.
Bring it back now. You know, because this was brought up, the third week this video was put into evidence of, we'll give you a brief synopsis. The video was...
shot secretly by Miss Amber on her phone.
Yes.
She thinks she's fucking sneaky.
Because, of course, as they have stated in court, both sides secretly recorded one another.
Which, I'm sorry, that's the one part that I struggle with on both sides of this.
I'm just like,
why?
I want to know, like, I didn't watch the part with their marriage counselor, but I'm like, why?
Because, like, listen, I'm married. You get mad at your spouse, you're not going to go, you know what, you got drunk and I took pictures. You might if they're in a funny pose, like to, tease them later, but you're not going to go, you passed out at blah, 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 blah o'clock and I took a picture with ice cream in your lap. Who the fuck does that?
Yeah.
That's not love.
So going to the video, secretly doing this, and of course you can tell that she is doing this on purpose. Just the way that she's doing it.
Antagonizing him.
Antagonizing him in the beginning, and of course he's already upset about whatever
they
it
were
is.
Arguing about, which we had no context on.
Yeah, there is no context. It is just him yelling, motherfucker, just really upset. And of course, he's already been drinking his mega pint.
I would love a mega pint of wine right now. I would love it.
So of course, whatever escalated. And of course, she had to say, like, during this whole thing, I just got up. and you were like this. Like, why are you so upset?
She also, recording somebody when they're like that, you're so vulnerable when you're having a panic attack. And I don't know about you, but like that would send me even further in the physical area of my panic attack, not mental. I would immediately get angry, and then anger does not help panic attacks. Those of you that get them, him just slamming cabinets, only just. The last panic attack I had that was that bad, I was throwing chairs around the kitchen. I was throwing anything I could grab my hands on that I knew I wouldn't get mad at myself later for breaking.
Yeah. I throw my phone, but I'm not
strategically
really
throwing it.
Yeah, like I'm
please don't break. Ah!
Yeah, like you're just so upset. And me, I don't want to throw things. I don't want to like push. Like I just physically and mentally just shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And like tears just keep coming, and I'm not even registering. Like I just kind of.
I think you're more of an emotional panic attacker, and I'm more of a angry like thrower.
I am.
So I stomp, I slam doors. So I totally, I watched that footage going, he's having a panic attack. It's pretty basic. I mean, I'm not a psychologist by any means, but that's pretty clear.
Exactly.
From anyone who's ever had a panic or anxiety attack of any kind. You're like,
and of course, you know, he's like, were you there?
Were you there?
When what happened to me this morning?
Mm-hmm.
No, I wasn't. Then you don't know. Then you don't understand. And of course, through this whole thing and listening to all of their hidden evidence, I guess you could say, all of their hidden
disclosures,
their hidden recordings, and of course being displayed as evidence, you can hear him escalating and her
she was
baiting him.
Yeah. It was picking a scab. She was like, here, why don't I poke you right where it hurts? Does that hurt? Does that hurt?
And of course, they're
feeling triggered just talking about it.
Right? We're getting triggered right now. See, and on that point, he's trying to get away from it. Like, he's just like, oh my God, would you just please I need to go to the other room. I need to get away.
Which any psychologist or therapist would tell you, if you're prone to anxiety, the best thing to do is get yourself out of the triggering situation.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the only instance that they mentioned. He kept trying to get away from her, and she kept following him from room to room. What are you trying to accomplish there?
Yeah.
That's
and
never going to work.
We've talked about this, where we have people that we know who have different type of techniques of, or different type of ways of approaching an argument.
Mm-hmm.
There are ones who need to walk away before they say something that they don't like to say.
That's why we get along. It's both of us, just for those of you not watching.
And then you have the ones who keep going and trying to resolve the problem because the problem is now and they need to take care of it right now.
I had ex-boyfriends that were like that. They didn't pick up on the cues of, I just need you to leave me the fuck alone so I can calm down thing.
So that's why in every type of relationship that I start with anybody, I'm like, listen, I am not, if we're going to get into an argument, I'm walking away.
Like, understand that.
I have driven off.
Oh, I've driven off too.
Oh, both of us have driven off.
That's
not from each other, but
it kind of feels good though when you like get in the car and you're like, "Fuck you!" and you drive away.
I always get that person, and of course, my mom's love you, Mom, I love you, but she is really good at being like, "Don't drive angry," because of course she's scared. Like she's had past experiences with her brothers where they've driven off angry, and
that's when you get in the accident.
Yeah,
please tell me that's not what happened.
I don't know. I don't know. Either they got picked up by
speeding.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, of course, you know, she doesn't want me to get in trouble. She doesn't want me to get hurt. So, of course, she doesn't want me to drive off. But I'm just like, I need to cool down. Whether I drive off or not, let me sit in the car. It is just, you can't, I can lock the doors.
Just let me get away from you and calm down.
Blare my music without bothering anybody else.
Can you just let me have my moment?
But it's like, listening to him, and of course there are other times where you hear her recordings and
she's disgusting.
She's whiny, She's
But
poking.
why are you doing this to me?
Aquaman.
Aquaman. Give me my wig back. Aquaman.
Aquaman. Anyways.
Favorite video audio clip? Yes, it is. How'd you know?
But it's like, she's poking the bear. But also, if you hear him, he is slurring his words. Mm-hmm. He sounds like he's in and out of, not consciousness, like he's in and out of sleep, kind of. You know, not saying he's like completely losing consciousness.
Well,
but,
you know, the only defense is he's on drugs, which he's very clearly stated multiple times on the stand and off. And you go, okay, so he's on drugs.
Every time.
What does that have to do with her baiting him to get him to try to hit her? And that's what it sounds like. She's attempting for him to put hands on her, and then there's no proof he ever did.
Yeah.
And these photos, we went over with a forensic photo guy
today, guys.
Today. This afternoon. And as a tech person, I'm going to tell you,
starting to become a tech person.
Oh, yeah,
I was very curious about this.
I got to tell you, first of all, the guy was extremely credible. The things he was talking about in terms of metadata was right on point. And her lawyers were bullying him because he was basically showing proof that the original photo that was taken was not the photo that they were showing as evidence, which means it could have been doctored.
And of course, it was showing that it was taken by said phone, the iPhone 4, and being sent, and then the software being sent to another location. Mm-hmm. And of course, he did state that this is not the actual iPhone picture. This one has gone through multiple softwares.
Because in the metadata,
and it's been altered.
For those of you that don't know what I mean by metadata, in the background of the photo, there's a lot of information about the photo. It gives you the size, it gives you a watermark of where it's from, gives you a date, lots of stuff. And that's what forensic analysts are looking at. So they're able to look at what date it was actually, the picture he's looking at is from, what source watermark. So it didn't have an Apple watermark like it should have, because she claims she has an iPhone. And there's a photo of her with the iPhone.
The picture did say it was from an iPhone.
Mm-hmm. But it didn't say that it had that watermark, which clearly shows that there was a software in between the original picture and what we are seeing in court. So he's not saying she specifically did it. He was very careful to not point that finger.
He wasn't pointing the finger at her. He was saying that someone...
It wasn't the same photo that was originally taken.
It is not the original photo. He wasn't pointing fingers, and it just the baby-faced mofo that graduated from University of Phoenix.
That is
a running joke,
by the way.
This is a running joke for us,
Mr. Rottenborn.
Because I believe all of hers are back alley. University of Phoenix graduates.
If anybody saw the footage from yesterday, where they had somebody named Dr. Spiegel, and he looked and acted like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. The day before.
That was on Monday.
Was it Monday?
That was Monday. Today is Wednesday, guys.
Oh my God.
Yesterday, we had all credible witnesses.
Yes. Just like this,
we had all Johnny Depp witnesses.
Oh my gosh.
But Monday, we had Dr. Smeagol.
I was so pissed, you guys. This guy said that he knew that Johnny Depp was a narcissist based on how he played Jack Sparrow in the Pirates movies. He's never talked to the man or met him before that court date.
And claiming
Jesus Christ
that he is he can't. Obviously, he is a mess and had to be fed lines through an earpiece. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of actors and actresses out there. I mean, we've acted enough that it's hard to remember lines.
Especially when you get older. Good God.
When you get older, you're in a relationship that is just right there. And like I can contest to that, because I started teaching and I was in a toxic relationship. He called me 24/7, claimed that I was cheating on him. And I'm like, I am trying to learn a new job, all of these rules and guidelines. I am trying to be the best teacher I can possibly be, and you are causing issues.
And you can't. I mean, you can't.
And you forget things because you're so frustrated that you have this one side that's just like, oh my God, if they call again, you're going to have to go away and talk to them and calm them down and do all this other stuff. What if I'm doing wrong? Yeah. And then you got this side that's just like, you need to be learning all of this stuff like right now because they're going to fire you. You know, like.
You have all that going on, and that's just.
And of course, it doesn't help that he was on drugs.
Yes.
Alcohol.
And let's talk about the drugs for a minute. It's been made very clear by most of his witnesses that he didn't do drugs that heavily until the relationship.
Exactly.
And what's a good coping mechanism for stressful relationships? Drugs and alcohol.
Self-medication.
Yes. We're not condoning that at all. Get help. Yeah, don't do drugs and alcohol. But like
you are most likely because
she
you are not
this and then she wants to use it as her fucking defense.
You're not able to You haven't found the strength to go and get help and get yourself the proper help you need, that if you just self-medicate yourself, it will all go away.
And it doesn't.
It doesn't.
As soon as you sober up, then you're even further down the road of not knowing what to do about it.
Yes. And of course, through this whole thing, guys, like all of his witnesses have been calm, factual, professional.
They sound intelligent.
Even taking hits from her team, even though they would really like to like chew them out and be like, where did you get your degree?
Listen, Elaine, her career's
from
over.
Toys R Us.
Her career's over. Amber's lawyer, Elaine, she, her big defense today for all of Johnny's witnesses were, so you're here because you want your 15 minutes of fame, correct?
That's all she has left, guys.
And 2 days ago, when it was still their witnesses on Monday, she kept saying, what if any? What if anything? What if anything? And you're like, can you please come up? I have an English degree, okay? So it physically hurts me when people don't start a sentence differently, at least a few times.
Which, of course, is really funny because, of course, we had that yesterday. Now, Johnny Depp's lawyers are actually using what if anything
properly
in a proper context.
And it's not every sentence.
No.
It's really amusing
They're
to see
just
the
like,
differences.
Elaine, this is how you use what if anything.
Take notes. Take notes.
But it's
Do we
like,
want to talk about how she was owned today, Elaine? Because I thought we were both going to die.
All of you guys are probably watching it on TikTok right now on replay.
You should. Look it up.
YouTube on replay. Let me tell you. Okay, so before they went on their lunch hour, the lawyer from the TMZ company, of course, we all know who TMZ is if you live under a rock. It is a
shitty paparazzi
paparazzi tabloid
that we
website
read because we love
because
news.
We like messy boots and we love messy shit. So
no, but you can't say that that's a legitimate news source either. That's what kills me. These people that are like, well, they're like
everybody gets tip lines, but they don't do research. They just go by their tip lines.
Yeah, and they
as
make shit up.
Opposed to credible. I mean, they're credible, but like news places like the Washington Post
and if you pay them enough, they will write whatever you ask them to.
Exactly.
Ask Britney Spears' dad. He had them on the payroll for a long time.
So the lawyer was there.
Oh yeah.
And trying to, in TMZ's best interest, that a former ex-employee of theirs should not testify during this whole thing just because it would probably ruin TMZ's reputation.
What reputation? First of all, okay, but go on.
And of course, in the video, you see them sitting on Amber Heard's side.
Wonder why that is. I wonder who sent that video of the cupboard slamming.
Well, of course, guys.
That TMZ owns the legal rights to.
Guess what, guys? Our Johnny Depp's lawyers were able to pull it out and tell them, listen, we're not trashing TMZ in this. We are discussing a situation that was brought to our attention by a former employee of TMZ.
Correct.
He just happened to work there.
He also didn't say anything bad about them on the stand.
No, and of course, he even, for the record, said he's putting himself out on the line here.
Because they're a very
TMZ
company.
Can take me apart.
100%. And there's...
But he offered... They did not subpoena him until last night.
After he
had offered.
Correct.
He approached them first. They didn't approach him.
Well, Elaine made it very clear that she thought he was there for his 15 minutes of fame. And the retort from the ex-TMZ employee named Morgan was kind of like representing Amber Heard in this trial, insinuating that Elaine is the one looking for fame after this trial is over.
He's like,
the entire courtroom erupted and people going, oh! We were both screaming in our office. I'm sure our coworkers hate us, but it was a lot.
My desk is near the door. I hopped out of my chair and ran to the back of the office because I did not want to get that burn lash.
Oh, dude, I still am a little sore. My skin hurts from that.
I know.
That sick burn.
Because he was like, "No, I know that this is being videoed right now."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, it could be just like you taking on Amber Heard as your client, right?
It was so savage today. You guys,
but
they started...
he did not raise his voice at
all.
No.
He didn't, and he wasn't like being shitty either. He smiled at her afterwards.
It's Unlike, earlier this week, before Hump Day, we had all the witnesses who were like, I'm going to give you some more attitude because that's not the question that you asked me, and I'm just going to keep answering questions that you never asked me.
Her people, and then the judge would be like, stop talking. Like, the objection was sustained, which means you need to stop talking. And they would talk over the judge, and I was like, this judge needs to start learning the words like...
And Elaine
contempt of court.
Throwing a temper tantrum every time that an objection would come. And she's like, oh, but honor...
I hope that they give her like a after the fact contempt of court charge because her lawyer has been...
There have been plenty of times where...
That'd be like arguing with your boss. You just go, yeah, I'll take care of it. Whether they're wrong or not is irrelevant. You just kind of go, okay... And then you do something to like appease them on the situation, and then everybody's happier for it.
And what is really funny, guys, is that last week, Judge Penny told Miss Heard's lawyer, Elaine, that what if anything it's not a
cure-all. I think was the terminology used. I was trying to think while you were starting that
not
story.
A Band-Aid.
It doesn't fix it, Elaine, if you don't know how to lawyer.
Fix the situation. It does not stop them from saying objection.
She is literally like the worst.
But
look up hashtag Elaine.
The real MVP
Twitter.
Of this entire case, Camille
Vasquez. Come on down. That's one of Johnny's lawyers, for those of you that don't watch it. She's a fucking pit bull.
Pit bull.
She goes up there and she was like, this picture you took, right, Miss Heard? Yeah. And you took this picture of the snarky message that you wrote while your husband was bleeding out of the finger that you cut off the tip of. Right, Miss Heard?
That's not what I said.
Isn't it true you took this picture, Miss Heard? Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yes. I don't remember what day.
She just, like... obliterated everybody. And what's really funny is today was a knockout punch for Johnny's team. So they were already kind of on the,
they were already hitting. They hit the home run, at least one home run
this morning
in this big giant World Series that we are listening to right now and
it's
watching.
Amber's fault that they hit the home run this morning.
No, even before that.
Oh.
Amber Heard stated on the stand, guys, that she remembers a story that perhaps Johnny Depp might have told her that he pushed Kate Moss down the stairs. I remember a story about Kate Moss and stairs.
Johnny's team They flipped out. This means that anybody, so for those of you that don't know legal stuff, we've learned that apparently if somebody mentions someone else in court, they're allowed to call them as a witness. So she knew she fucked up because her face after she said Kate Moss's name was, oh shit. Fuck. What have I done?
So they called Kate Moss. Kate Moss testified. Wonderful.
She was so pleasant, you guys. It was so cute.
It was a short, 10 minutes.
We were both young when they dated, so I didn't even remember that they dated, first of all. And she dated for 4 years, she said?
Yeah, for 4 years.
Crazy.
I mean, that's a pretty long-term relationship right there. That's like the cusp of a long-term relationship. And of course, many articles out there about their relationships, and of course interviews from them, that it was a good relationship. It just, they weren't in the same, they weren't on the same page.
I think she was far more serious about him than he was about her.
Yeah.
Which happens.
Yeah, that happens, you know. You know, and she cried a lot, but that never stopped her from caring about him. So of course they asked her, so there was an instance where there was stairs and you got hurt, and she goes, oh yeah, he had left before
they were on vacation in Jamaica. And so he was waiting for her, I think, on the porch, she said, if I recall.
Yeah, he was already out the door and down the steps, and of course it was a few steps because we also got to hear Johnny Depp's side of the incident, because he was asked to come back on the stand, which I was very surprised because it sounded like yesterday in some articles that they were not going to be bringing him back.
I think originally it was the defense's strategy to do that, and I think that it showed some power that they were like, fuck you, we're going to call him anyway.
Well, and they kind of stopped that because they were going to do that yesterday, so that would have been considered a hostile witness. So on that note, but Kate Moss was walking out. It had rained really hard, so the stairs are slippery, and of course all of us have done it.
We're very graceful people on the Tammy and Wanda show, as you
That's
guys know.
right. We are so graceful that we are ballerinas with 2 left feet.
Well, can you imagine being that skinny and falling like that? Because I like being a little bit more plump here.
She even
saves you.
Yeah, and she said that she fell, hurt her back. She screamed. He came back, scooped her up, didn't know what happened, and took her in and took care of her. His response was, I heard her scream and ran back, found out that she had fallen on her coccyx.
Which apparently is your tailbone.
That is your tailbone, yes. Yes, that's your tailbone. I took anatomy. Hi, guys.
She's so smart using Latin words.
Believe me, I had a field day with his severed finger because I did a lot of anatomy and physiology before I chose careers.
So that was fun to listen to those experts for you. For me, I was like, I don't care. It's gross.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff always fascinates me. But and even then, the witness was not credible because it was Amber Heard's, and them just he had a fascination with nail beds.
It was gross.
Nail beds, guys.
Well, apparently it couldn't have been this vodka bottle because apparently the nail bed was intact, and then Camille, our bulldog BFF, was like, yeah, but you're indicating that your analysis is of his hand flat, and he said he had in his testimony that it was over the bar and kind of curled.
It was kind of curled, yeah.
Which would have saved the aforementioned nail bed.
Yep.
Because if you saw the pictures, it was at an angle.
Mic drop 1, mic drop 2. She did plenty of mic drops.
A lot. My favorite mic drop was Elaine's, though. Amber's lawyer. She actually called her own client because she was frustrated yesterday afternoon. Mr. Turd.
She did.
I was like, how do you mess that up?
Then she had to say, Miss Heard.
Very clearly enunciating that she doesn't think her clients...
Oh, come on, guys. You all know that Amber Heard's going to sue her lawyers, and Miss Elaine is going to write a tell-all book.
I hope she does. I would so buy that. I'd even give her a hug and meet her and be like, you're so brave.
But it just, this whole case has been blowing up, mind-blowing, and of course, I'm already a court junkie. because I really like Law and Order. I love Law and Order SVU.
I think we may need to do a part 2 to this when we find out the verdict.
We're gonna have a celebration.
What do you guys think? Part 2?
I think so.
Yes. Because we are out of time for today.
Yes, we are, guys. We could spend hours on this.
This could have been like a 17-hour thing for us, and we have a lot more to say.
Breaking down all the evidence.
We'll do part 2 on the verdict, and then maybe we'll go back and we'll talk about the best moments of the trials that, you guys can get all the fun bits.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll even get sound bites for you to listen to if you've not heard them. So, especially Aquaman.
Aquaman.
All right, y'all. Till next time, we love you.
Bye.